Nyanje Khenpo Sherab Nyingma Lineage Khenpo Ngabjada Bakar Ngan Sandu Shirmado Tunba Tukje Janlake Kyan Sar Shoma Juje Yanje Paudana Tusum Sanji Kenjimo Wenye Ransum Chirpung Onsen Tsawe Lama Nam Langwe Kyan Sar Doson Rove Lorna Chula Jir. Good morning. First of all, I would like to begin by remind you again that it is important to have pure motivation whenever you are studying or practicing the Dharma. Very important. Because we are constantly caught up in our negative emotions, right? So whenever you find that your intentions are selfish, you should recognize it and renew your good intention. And then no matter how much you practice or how long you meditate, it will be beneficial, correcting your motivation. Today, I'm going to teach you very important methods for your shamatha and vipaśyanā practice again. Without these methods, it is difficult to hold the untamed, ordinary mind. But I already explained these methods to most of you many times, so I hope you remember them. And more importantly, I hope you using them when you meditate. But for new people, I'm going to explain these methods again. Keep in mind. So the methods are, we talked yesterday, 2 implements, mindfulness and awareness. And then 3 methods, which are first, resting. Second is continual resting. Third is repeated resting. These 3. When I meditate, I try to use these methods. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But it is even worse if you don't use them. So it's better. Actually, I collected these methods from different Buddhist teachings, Buddhist texts, and then I put them together here for you. From my own experience, I really find that very helpful to use these methods when I meditate. So therefore, I collect them, and then because I studied a lot. So these methods are, I think, the best, I think. So I put them together here for you. That's why you call that's actually kind of like instructions, what we call instructions. Instructions are like either great meditators, their own experience, or very well known, like great scholar, like masters, collect them like from different texts. So that's what we call instruction. Now, yesterday we talked about these two methods, right? Mindfulness, awareness. As I mentioned, I think yesterday, when you start to meditate, there are two common problems. Difficulty with focusing and clarity. So we have to deal with these two obstacles at the very beginning. Therefore, cultivating mindfulness and awareness can help us to work directly with these challenges. So these two methods are the foundation. The basic idea is that you bring your awareness to the present moment and you just relax and observe your thoughts as they pass by without sort of judging or interfering. Simply noticing what is actually going on inside of your mind. So it is very simple but not easy. So when you meditate on shamatha, actually there are 9 methods of resting the mind. But I think essentially, as I said, that there is resting, continual resting, repeated resting. These are 3 methods of resting the mind are the most important methods for those who want to meditate. Actually, you don't need these 3 methods if you have really like mindfulness and awareness, but these 3 methods help for those who don't have a good mindfulness and awareness. Now, resting is always the first step. Meditators always say, rest your mind, rest your body, right? So it's always first. It is most important method because the first method will directly affect whatever come next. In Tibetan, we call it njokpa. It means to place. Placing the mind on the object of meditation. That is what we call njokpa. So you hold your mind on the object of your meditation. Like when you bring your mind on the image, for instance, this time, like of the Buddha's image, Buddha's heart. It's kind of like you put your mind right there. Nothing else, right? Njokpa, that's what we call it. You just, your mind, you put your mind on the image of Buddha without judging, without any other thoughts. You just put there your mind. That is what we call njokpa, which is placing the mind on the object of meditation. It's very simple, very, very simple. You just put your mind there and then you don't think. Just rest there. So therefore, when you sit down and you begin to meditate, resting is your first action, right? Rest is first action. Both your mind and body need to rest. You just rest right there without any thoughts other than the object. Therefore, it is the first of the three methods. So rest in your mind is an important step when you begin the process of your meditation. But when you try to rest your mind, what happens is you will experience the movement of your mind at this time, right? You try to rest your mind on the object, and then you will experience movement of your mind. Actually, there are 5 experiences that you will get in your meditation. I will teach you those experiences later if we have time. The moment when you try to rest your mind, then you experience your mind is moving. So the movement of mind is the first experience of your meditation. Actually, teachers said that this is important, actually. This is important experience. So let's you put your mind on the object for a while, and then you experience the movement of your mind. So teacher said that is very important experience. Don't think, oh, I can't do that. But usually people would say, I have more thoughts, right? More thoughts when I meditate. But what is happening here is that you are now recognizing the movement of your mind for the first time. That's why I think teacher said this is very important experience. Because usually we don't recognize, right? Especially like subtle movement of your mind, we don't recognize. Maybe like gross, like thoughts, maybe you recognize, but so your meditation is not going to create any more thoughts. You feel you are, but it's not. But this all comes from your own your awareness and your experience, because now you notice there is a lot of movement. Therefore, you are not able to hold your mind very long, right? It comes, goes like that. So now you are starting to understand your mind a little bit this time. That's why teachers say this is very good. So this is actually a very important step. Rather than, you should think that when you try to meditate like that, rest, don't worry about anything. Just don't, there is no expectation, no worries, nothing. Just do it. And then you will experience the movement of your mind. And then you should understand, remind yourself, oh, this is good. This is good experience. So I'm kind of like, this is very important step. So I'm doing very well. So, because before you did not think about how many thoughts you had, now you are thinking, oh, I have lots of thoughts. That's all right. Before you thinking, oh, this is wrong, this is right, like you are judging the thoughts. This time you are not judging about thoughts, but you are recognizing, oh, I have lots of thoughts. That's all. Before we don't meditate, we say, oh, this person is bad, this person is good. So we are judging, like, right? So we're not thinking about thoughts. themselves, but we're thinking about, what do you call it? The essence of thoughts, kind of like, we're judging, we're thinking. This time we're not thinking that, but we're thinking, oh, I have lots of thoughts, that's all. So that's good steps, So therefore, actually you have to understand that the beginning of your meditation is dealing with thoughts, because you become aware of your thoughts if you pay attention to them when you meditate. And then you will recognize that when powerful thoughts arise, then the mind becomes very powerful. But when you try to rest your mind, then you will see where the mind actually is. So this is very important. This you have to remember when you meditate. Like, you should think that, I'm trying to deal with my thoughts. That's the beginner. Like, that's the first time when you try to meditate. We're not thinking about the quality of your meditation the first time. The first time you have to deal with your thoughts. That's all. And then you are practice more and more. Then eventually you're thinking about your quality of your meditation. So there is a kind of like process. So then you just try to rest the mind there for as long as you are able. Now you see, the first method of the resting is just learning how the meditation practice works, and also developing the ability to meditate. That is how it begins, right? But as you know, people think about their problems during meditation rather than focus on meditation, right? That's just habit, That's habit, but that's okay. If you can, just try not to think about your problems during the meditation. That's why we call two different kind of like actual meditation and then post. During the post meditation, you can, if you want, you can think about your problems and relationships and work problem, everything like that. But actual meditation, during the actual meditation, try not to think. By the way, don't set also like goals for yourself that are too high to reach, Like, I'm going to meditate so for 10 minutes and without any thought. Impossible. That's totally fine. So you have to being gentle with yourself, and very important, trust yourself. I can do this. Trust yourself is very important if you are a beginner. And when your mind remains stable and focused on the object of meditation, and that means not many thoughts arise, then your mind become more stable and relaxed. That is very important, because then you have good opportunity to look directly at your mind and meditate on vipaśyanā once your mind is stable, right? Vipaśyanā, impossible. Practice vipaśyanā actually impossible. You're full of thoughts, and then vipaśyanā need a good view, correct view, and then you have to look at directly your mind. But your mind is not stable and workable, then vipaśyanā doesn't work. But if you have very good shamatha, then yes, you can see it. You can practice vipaśyanā. But when you practice shamatha, you try to rest your mind. You cannot rest for a long time. That's fine, okay? because you will see the movement of your mind. That's fine. People say, I can't practice, I need this practice. A little bit, you worry a little bit. Don't worry at all. You don't have to that's why teachers say practice short time, frequently, because you cannot rest for a long time. And then if you can't, then you worry about your thoughts, and then you sort of really focus very tightly. Then you get heart attack, headache. So teachers always say, be gentle with yourself, okay? Love yourself. Don't hate it yourself. That's all you need. So when you meditate, you will experience the movement of your mind. When you see that, then what? Then the moment of recognition is very important. That's why awareness, right? Awareness. Only mindfulness doesn't work. You need also awareness, because you see, okay, there's thoughts coming. Then you have to recognize that. That part is awareness. It's very important. Otherwise, you're going to create more thoughts. If you don't recognize when thoughts arise, you're going to create more thoughts. Then endless. That is what we call samsara. So therefore, teachers say, right, when you need to recognize the disturbance of your mind. When the mind has moved into thoughts and emotions. But most beginners don't have this recognition. Therefore, now you need second method. You rest, right? You rest your mind on the object, and then you have experience of movement of your mind, and then you don't recognize your thoughts coming, then you need the second method. That is now after your mind, you rest your mind for a while, you can have two different experiences, I think, that come from the movement of your mind. The first experience is seeing that your mind is starting to wander away. And the second is being completely lost. Therefore, you need continual resting and repeated resting. So first your experience, you're seeing that your mind is kind of start to wander, and right at that time, what the second method, continual resting. And then very beginners, that doesn't work. Then you completely lost your object. Then you need repeated resting. So these two methods are important. For example, when you notice that your mind is starting to wander away, this is the time you need to use the second method of continual resting, okay? We say in Tibetan, jin jok, okay? Jin jok, which is continual resting. Jin means continue. Jok means resting. You got it? Jin jok. Actually, Tibetan language is kind of beautiful, though. This kind of spiritual dharma things, Tibetan, very rich. So jin jok is the second method. So this method helps you rest the mind for a little bit longer. So you can practice continual resting and try to slightly prolong this state of rest. So you can see, right? When it's such a small act, but it's one of the most courageous things you can do at this moment. So like you rest your mind and then you're thinking water. Yeah? Oh, no, continue resting. So it's very small act, right? You don't just suddenly, like it doesn't take like even like 1 second. Very small act, but it's very important. If you don't use the method, then you're going to lose it, your meditation. So therefore, that's why they call methods, I think, or instructions. Very small act, but it's very important one. So in this time, you have to go a little bit further in your meditation and little bit sort of deeper if you can, okay? Rather than follow on your thoughts. Then you are able to maintain your mindfulness for a little bit longer so that you feel sort of slightly confident in your meditation. So this confidence is so important. Confidence you can experience when you meditate. Oh, I think I can do it. That's why this method is called continual resting. And in this stage, continual resting, you're dealing with the movement of your mind. So you still have recognition, which is important, which is your awareness. All right, you have recognition. If you don't have recognition, then you can't use this second method. So you can see that your mindfulness is beginning to sort of waver, but you can bring it back again and hold your mind there again. Because this time you have not completely lost your object of meditation, but you are very close to losing it, right? If you don't use this method at this time. For sure, if you don't use this method, you're going to lose it. Believe me. If you, for instance, if you focus on Buddha's image, but you will see there are many thoughts that are ready to appear. Even like inside your meditation, like when you look at the image, and then I said, do not think anything other than just look at the image. We say that, but then you see like this yellow color, big, small eyes, all this. These are ready to appear, you know. So that's why in continuous resting you have already sort of placed the mind on an object. But then because of all these habits, it starts to wander away. Then you practice continual resting, okay? Which is using your awareness to notice your mind has begun to wander away. And then instead of letting it wander, you practice mindfulness and continue to rest on the object of meditation. That is continual resting. But sometimes you completely lose your awareness and your mind is completely separate from your object of focus. If that happens, then you need to practice the third method of repeated resting. repeated resting. The Tibetan word for this method is lan jok, which means to bring it back, or actually reconnecting, okay? This time you completely lost, but don't worry, because you can bring it back or reconnect. So when your mind loses its connection to its nature or its object, for instance, if you practice Dzogchen, then the same thing, you are going to lose it, and then you have to reconnect to its nature again. Or if you practice Shamatha, your mind completely lost, and then you bring that object back, and you have to bring it back and reconnect it again. So you see the difference between the second and third method is, in the second method, you have not completely lost object and your mind, but you're very close to losing it. So you have to continually rest. But in the third method, your mind has completely lost the object. So you need to reconnect your mind to the object. That's why Bapta Rinpoche said that make sure your mind is in your body. Make sure your relaxation is in your mind when you meditate. Right? That's actually, he's saying that you need these two methods, like make sure your mind is in your body, means rest your both your body and mind, and then make sure your relaxation is in your mind, means really you have to focus and be aware of everything when you meditate. So when I meditate, most of the time I have awareness, so I can see when my mind starts to welcome thoughts, emotions, etc. So I can use the second method, but sometimes I don't recognize my thoughts. I'm thinking something else, and I'm not meditating at all. When finally I recognize what is happening in my mind, and there are a lot of thoughts happening in my mind without recognition. So I'm very, very sure this happens to you too. Therefore, the third method is important for this situation. You see, actually, if you have these two methods, mindfulness, awareness, then you don't need three methods. Actually, they're kind of the same, but different ways you can use them. You can. I think this is like better than mindfulness and awareness. Mindfulness awareness is very common, like methods. Everybody. But these three methods, okay, first I have to rest. Okay, now I'm trying to think in something else, so I have to continue rest. So it's a little bit better, and for me it's easier to remember them. Okay, so now I completely lost, so I have to reconnect all over again. So, and after continue resting. When you meditate, you hear something noisy and you try to listen to continue rest. So each time, after you have placed your mind at the beginning of your meditation, each time you have to recognize your thought and return your mind to the object. Okay? So you are learn how to repeatedly rest your mind. When you recognize your thoughts and try to release them, you feel happy, really happy coming back to the object again. So don't worry if you have to sort of reconnect your mind to the object, even like thousands of times. That's why meditators are very patient and tolerant people, right? That's just kind of habit, like, oh, I have to be patient. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, that's okay, that's okay. When you start meditate, you are like a baby, taking one step and then you falling down, always falling down as they learn, right? That's why this is called practice. Practice, practice, practice. And eventually you're able to learn how to rest completely. So in these stages of meditation, we are like, teachers say, like we're like a baby starting to learn how to walk. That is what it is like for us when we are learning how to rest our mind in these stages. So we have this experience, right? So I'm telling you, me, everybody. At first, like your mind will stray almost every moment. But the more you bring it back, then more you will sort of improve your ability to rest the mind. And then eventually, believe me, you will be able to let your mind rest. 1 minute, 2 minutes, better and better and better if you do. And then eventually it makes you really happy, That's why the enlightened beings, they called this enlightenment, this kind of like whatever called experience is like the everlasting happiness. Because it makes you really happy. The first time it makes you miserable. It's difficult. It's like, oh, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't. This. Oh, when you see your cushion, you just do like, oh. Be patient. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You have to do it. And then eventually, meditation is like the first time is very bad, very difficult, and much better, like samsaric experience is better, right? Yeah, I think so. You have first time this. You have very good relationship. Then you're married. You have good family, happy, good work, happy. Slowly worse and worse and worse and worse. And meditators, like first time, it's so difficult. You don't have food. Your thoughts everywhere. You worry. You're suffering. But then better and better and better. Eventually, then you have everlasting happiness. That's actually very good. So, the more each time you remember to rest your mind on the object of meditation, that means you are moving forward. The more you are able to rest and focus, the stronger your mind becomes. The stronger mind brings great result and good experience. Good experience. The way to rest your mind in meditation is to let go all of your thoughts. It doesn't matter whether they're good thought, positive, negative. In the third method, you still have discursive thoughts, but you become more confident. So this is how you, okay, I'm talking too much. This is how you build your meditation. Okay, this is how you build meditation. There is no other way to do it. I mean, Tibetan Buddhism, I know. This is the only way you build your meditation. So you have to develop confidence and the ability of your mind by realizing that everything you do in these three stages, every time you recognize a thought, acknowledge it, and let it go, causes your mind to become stronger. So, and the practice of meditation, rest in the mind, again, continue resting, repeated resting. These three methods work directly with your experiences. Of course, both your mindfulness awareness also go with these methods. So these stages of practice help your mind to become stable. And based on that stable mind, you can develop other good qualities, okay? Compassion, love and kindness, all of that. So that's it. And we're going to meditate. Next section, I will talk a little bit about the different experiences that can arise. You can take these methods and these stages of meditation journey. So maybe we can, just in case we should understand experience about the shamatha experience. So I will talk a little bit of that next time. Now the meditation. This time we're going to practice rest in meditation. So you can close your eyes or whatever whatever you want. It doesn't matter. And if there is any sort of discomfort or tightness, try to set up comfortably. That's why you have to relax, is to relax. Of course, you also check your mind to see what emotion, thoughts are present in your mind. Try to let it go. Try to let it go. Breathe in, breathe out. Recognize your thoughts. Let them go. Breathe in, breathe out, and relax. At the same time, recognize your distractions, and then let go of everything. Then relax again. We have done this many times. When you breathe in, pause, recognize whatever is happening in your mind. Just look at your mind, and maybe there is a lot of thoughts or emotions. Maybe there is nothing, no thoughts, nothing. So just to let it go and relax. Then breathe out and let it go. Then pause. Recognize. Do this over again. It's important to remember those three methods: resting, continue resting, repeatedly resting all the time. So breathe in, recognize. Breathe out, let go. Pause, relax. Got it? Breathe in, recognize. Breathe out, let it go. Pause between breathe in and out, relax. So this is very good. Each breath, breathe in is a reminder to recognize. You have to remember this. Each breathe in is a reminder to recognize. Each breathe out is a reminder to let it go. Each pause is a reminder to relax. So these are very small actions, okay? Don't think, oh, that's too much, like breathe in, I have to recognize all of this. And then pause, relax, and then breathe out. I don't have that much time. My breath is like so fast that the way I explain is kind of very long, but this small act, you can do it. So, okay, continue to meditate on this until you're done. But first we have to say the prayer though. The Buddha's prayer, never forget. Ready? With your great compassion, embrace the turbulence and degenerate world, and made 500 mighty aspirations. You are as exalted as the white lotus. Whoever hears your name shall never return to samsara. Most compassionate teacher, to you I pay homage. Om Mani Mani Mahamanaya Soha. Grant your blessings so that I realize primordial purity is the true nature. Grant your blessings so that I recognize whatever arises is in my mind. Grant your blessings so that I liberate delusion into its own natural state. Grant your blessings so that increase my dedicated stability continuously. Grant your blessings so that I actualize enlightenment in this lifetime.